And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. So today, I actually have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine. I have actress Marilyn Knapp. She's back with me. She has something to promote with the film festival that's holding the Forest Through the Trees, which is Jason Pitt's film. And I also had Jason and the rest of the gang over here last month with me. It's also on all audio formats. If you guys want to listen to that interview or on YouTube, your choice, your pick of poison is available to you. But tonight, I actually get to sit down with Marilyn Knapp, and let's go ahead. Let's say hi, Marilyn, and let's do this, guys. I'm excited to have her here. And hey, Marilyn, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, John. How are you doing? I'm doing
I'm
great.
doing fantastic on this Wednesday evening. I do appreciate that. It is an honor and a privilege to have you back here again.
Aw. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So, I know that you want to talk about the film festival for Forest Through the Trees. Now, without spoiling anything for the movie, but what could you tell us about the general plot line in case anybody hasn't heard the interview that Jason and I did with the actors and stuff like that on the last episode?
Well, it is a demon cult film. It is horror, but it's also got action. It's got characters that are. It's character based, and the story builds and builds and builds. It's been very well received. And so if you like horror, you like action, you like some intrigue and kind of thriller stuff happening, this is a really good one.
Okay. Julia says that we love Marilyn. Oh, I love her too. She's great.
Thank you, Julia.
But so my question is this. So I never got a chance to ask Jason this on the show, but how did he come across you with this story? And what was your first initial thoughts when he approached you for it?
Well, I knew about it because Jason and I worked on a couple other things. And so, we have a little back and forth talk every once in a while. And I saw his post about an idea that he had for a demon cult film. And so we kind of talked a little bit about that. He didn't really approach me. I was like, I knew about the characters and I said, oh, I want to audition for Mrs. Thompson. And he didn't really say anything. It was just like, a thumbs up or, a little heart emoji and stuff. And I went, okay. So I was watching for the casting call, and it came out, and Julia did the casting on that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to submit. I'm going to do this. And then I saw the sides, and anyway, it just evolved, and I got the role, and oh man, I loved it. I loved it so much.
And you see, that's one thing that I love about Jason is the fact that when I saw you just pop up in the movie, it's like not even 5 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, you're in this movie for a reason. You're not just gonna have Marilyn just going ahead and do a cameo role and then just say, "Oh, you guys look beautiful together," and then walk off like right into the sunset, and that's the end. I said, "No, there's got to be more to this character because you always play these characters that I really love that Jason does and very creative with his characters. He always gives you layers and stuff to work with." And and it's not one dimensional; it's several different layers piled on top of one character, and it's really complex to the point where I'm very drawn into your acting and your abilities to act. And I'm like, yeah, I got to keep an eye on this character. There's something more that meets the eye with her.
Yeah, I mean, Mrs. Thompson isn't. I mean, she's not one dimensional. That's for sure. She is I call her the neighborhood watch lady.
That's a perfect way of saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a widow, and she recently moved into the same neighborhood as Ken and Chloe, and she knows about the disappearance of Kathy, Chloe's mom, and um, she does have a backstory. I mean, everybody's got a backstory. Why are you there? what happened to you for you to arrive there. But she has this little dog and she walks around the neighborhood and she knows people and they know her. But she definitely, she's concerned about Chloe. And um, yeah, that's why she cares. And she stops and talks to Ava and Chloe at that time.
Right, and that's something that I really wanted to know too was like with auditioning for a Jason Pitts film, what is that like? I'm just wondering, like, because you worked with him so many times, so I was just wondering, like, when was like the first audition? What was that like for you in the past? I'm just kind of curious.
In the past,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I met Jason on Facebook randomly on a page called Real Arkansas, REEL Arkansas, and I just saw something he put out there, and it was like the COVID time, and I'm like, well, I mean, I can work from home, but then what am I going to do? And I got time, so I tried to help him with what he was looking for. It was location scouting, basically, and we had some conversations back and forth. And then out of the blue, he messaged me and he goes, "So, do you act?" And, well, yes, I do. I do act. And I got really excited, and he wanted me to audition for the part of Patty Darte in Alone. And I was so nervous. I was
That was
so,
my first introduction to you and your acting, and to
yeah.
Jason as well. That was a really great film.
Yeah, I loved it. It turned out so good, I thought. And the audition experience was interesting because of COVID, and I didn't know how to self tape or anything. I didn't have a reader because I couldn't go be around people because of COVID.
Right.
And my husband was out of town. So I was talking to my husband. I'm like, how do we do this? How do we do this? So I sent him the sides, and he found a way to record them and send them back to me. So he was virtually my reader. And anyway, uh, that was quite a challenge, but submitted it. And I don't know, about a week. I don't know how long it was, but Jason got back to me and said, "I want to offer you the part." And I was like, "Oh, my first role, it was amazing."
That's pretty cool. I mean, you go from just talking to someone on the webpage, and then all of a sudden you get to audition for them, and then you're not sure if you're going to get the part or not. It's also during the pandemic,
Yes.
and things are very different at that time too, because you, like you said, you have to have someone that's going to have to sit down and read the lines off to you, and then after that, you have to bounce off of what they're saying and then send in your tape, and that's very tough to do, to actually do an audition like that. As a matter of fact, I actually talked to another actor who said the same thing. He said, I'd rather go face to face than having to do an audition tape. And I definitely have to agree. Going in, you actually get the personality of the director, you actually get the personality of the producers and everything else that's involved within this in the movie. But it was just a very different time, and it was a very challenging time over there too. And I have to commend you for like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out, see what happens, and you got the role. And I think that you did a fantastic job in that as well. And I think that it was. I can just say this: I don't think you really needed a reader because of how well that you were able to just read off stuff, and it felt like more like a monologue in a sense of how you portrayed the character, to
Yeah.
where you can actually pretty much solo it up with the audition. So I really have to say you did a really great job with Alone
Thank
as
you.
well.
There
Of course.
were several monologues in that.
Right.
Um, and I think my biggest fear for that um, was forgetting my lines, and I don't ever want to let anybody down. And so I really worked on that really hard. And uh, yeah, it's okay, just one quick thing.
Yeah.
So there's a scene in there where I'm talking to the sheriff,
Hmm.
and that sheriff had more lines in it, But the actor Clayton Bowman, who's awesome, he pulled me to the side and he goes, I think it'd just be best if you just tell the story and I don't say anything. But suddenly it became a monologue, right?
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna forget my lines. There won't be any cues. I don't, but we did it. And I had rehearsed it enough in, myself, make sure that I knew the lines and stuff, that I just let it flow and
Yeah.
watched in Clayton's expressions and stuff. That helped a whole lot too. So
Right. And it's always good to have a partner that's a scene partner to where you can actually bounce off of and just read off their expressions and realize, okay, this is working,
yeah,
opposed to me, the other person also saying something back. So it gives you a even more incline of like, okay, I got this. I don't have to worry with anything. I'll just have to say what I have to say and then just let the story build from what I'm saying
yeah,
and let him bounce off of you rather than you bounce off of him.
yeah, yeah.
So let's see here. Renee says you did a
Oh,
great job, Marilyn. Horror is your passion.
I
That I have to say, it's true.
I do love horror. Yeah, it's my
Um,
genre.
there's also another Jason Pitts short film that you did too, where the girl's hiking. I
Yeah.
believe I watched that one too. That was also another good one that you did. That was a little bit of change of, if you think about it, it's like a little bit of a change from horror, but it just
Yeah.
shows you how well you're able to act and how great that you're able to just draw in to do something different. And I really was dialed into that character as well, and I got sucked into the storyline of it. It helped me cope with the loss of my dad and
Oh,
stuff like that too, because it was like in January of last year I lost my dad, and then and then Jason sends me this film, and it just helped me cope with it, and it was just beautifully well written. And I like the fact that you're not afraid to challenge yourself to something new instead of like, you know what, horror is my comfort zone. It's my cup of tea. I want to stick in this. But you're like, no, I want to go on ahead and have this and see how I go with it. So um what other genres would you like to actually tackle?
um, I would love to have a really great supporting role in like a period piece, like a western. Um, it could be. I'm just thinking of like, westerns where you've seen some really dramatic moments happen with, shootouts, stuff like that. I
Right.
would I I would love to be in the middle of that kind of action like that. But I mean, any period piece would be fun. Um, I've done the drama, um, a couple times, including, Take It Slow, which was the one you were talking about.
Right.
And I typically play a mom and a grandma and that kind of thing. And all those are equally good because every character is different. Although they're similar and you're the mom, you're the grandma, whatever, but every character is a little bit different. And you
Right.
have to look at the whole story and develop your character doing that.
Exactly. And I was just curious though too, is this so if Jason would tell you, hey, look, I want to do a classic Albert Hitchcock movie, or I want to do something of a classic kind of feel to it, what movie would it be that you feel like that, you know what, I think I can remake this and make it a little bit better and make it stand out better?
Oh my goodness. Sure. I mean, a lot of the female characters in Alfred Hitchcock movies, they're they are very interesting, and many of them are very strong, and definitely they stand out on their own. And it would be fun to try to do that, and to improve on them. Um, And I think anything that Jason would suggest, if he were to come to me and say, I'd like to do this, I would feel comfortable with doing, because I trust him. And if he were to say something like that to me, I would know that he knows I can do it.
Right.
And there are so many great actresses out there. One of my favorites is Kathy Bates, and it doesn't matter what film she's in, she rules.
Yeah,
Um,
she is. Like
yeah,
with the Matlock series and stuff like that too.
yes, I've been watching her.
Me too. I'm like, at first I'm not like that dialed into it. I'm like, I don't know if I like this show or not. It was like the pilot episode in a sense,
Yeah,
because I was like, you know how every single series is like, this character has to be related to this character. That, you know what I'm
they have
saying?
to develop, the
Right.
relationships and stuff. Yeah,
But this one, there's no relate. She's not related to Matlock in any way or anything. And I love the spin off of it, and it's just sucks you right in.
yeah.
And yeah,
I, lo-
I love her.
I love her playing the old lady card,
Yes.
because they don't respect, you know. I absolutely love that. And every time she kind of smiles, like, I got them, you know.
Right.
I'm like, that's so
But
cool.
it really is. I really love the layers that she has as well. And you know, Renee said that she could see you playing in the Birds.
Oh, oh, that would be so much fun. I would see myself as like the school teacher more, I think. Not the like love interest, the current
Right.
one, yeah. Um, but I could totally see myself being the school teacher that's trying to protect the kids, and yeah, has some, background with the love interests and that's kind of thing. But yeah, that would be fun.
I think you could really knock it out though, because I remember you talking how passionate you are about that movie with the one of the best
Yeah.
scenes that we did for the top 5 scenes of all
Yes.
time.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
So I think
God.
you could pull that off, Marilyn. I'm serious. I think that if Jason would approach you, hey, look, I want to do a Birds movie and stuff like that, or any director, I think that you would be able to give it some light and stuff to that one character.
Thank you so much. I would
You're
love
very
the
welcome.
challenge. I would.
So back to the forest through the trees, like how is it doing as far as the film festivals go and everything? Because I've been supporting you guys and watching your growth through social media, through Facebook. I just love how many legs it's actually getting,
Yeah.
because every single time I see it, it's always growing. It's always getting more people involved in everything. I really like it.
So it's not so much, I mean, I think he has entered it into film festivals. I'm pretty sure there's a couple out there that he did. But right now, we just had our premiere
Right.
in Fayetteville, and it was spectacular. And there was a lot of interest. A lot of people showed up. In fact, the place was sold out.
It's
We had the
amazing.
red carpet. And excuse me, I have a little bit of allergies going on, but
Okay.
we had a red carpet, and Renee was there, and of course Julia was there, and my goodness, it was more than I could ever dream of, I think. And then we've got the Hot Springs screening coming up. We've got a screening in Iowa City.
Oh,
And
nice.
I know, branching out. And
I
then
like that.
I know. And then we got another screening in Eureka Springs, and that all happens within a month of the Hot Springs screening that's coming up, which is like a week away, almost a week away. And but I think that especially with the distribution that Jason has found, and the number of people who are excited about it, both on social media and just in general. Yeah, it's great. It's like snowballing. It's
Right. Exactly.
growing, it's growing, and I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you guys. Like I've remember reviewing a bunch of Jason's movies and stuff like that, but this one seems to be hitting on all cylinders, and
Yes.
it has kind of like that one feel of like The Wrong Turn, and it also has a couple of other things within it. It has some drama in it. It has different layers that is very relatable. All these characters are very relatable. I did the review for it on the channel and everything. I have to say, I was pulled in from the moment that it started,
Yeah.
and it's no wonder why this movie is just taking off the way it is, and it's got sold out. And it's hard for an independent director and indie actors and actresses involved to have a movie that's completely sold out, and that is amazing. I'm happy for Jason. I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy for everybody involved in this movie. Because I tell everybody all the time at work, I'm like, you need to check out Forest Through the Trees whenever it gets released,
Yeah.
because you're missing out on
Yeah.
something special and something original. And I said, I know you guys are getting tired of the big franchise films of seeing the same stuff all over again.
Yeah.
This is different. It pulls you in. If you're into horror, it pulls you into that. There's a father and daughter dynamic. If you're
Yeah.
into drama, it pulls you into that. It pulls you in several different directions. And that's something that's uniquely done and is not forced either. And also too, the dialogue in itself is not forced. And it feels it's just a great film.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. It is definitely an original. Yeah, indie film rocks, right?
Yes.
And I, oh, man, it does have something for everybody, even if you're a little bit squeamish about horror. There are some scenes in it which you might wanna close your eyes, but it really is character driven. It really is, and the story builds and builds. It's very suspenseful, and, yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. At some point, it will be released. Hopefully, we'll know maybe in 5 months or
Okay.
so at where and what's gonna happen, but, yeah, we've got a distributor, so it's gonna happen.
That's awesome. As soon as it does, I'm gonna be hitting those links and everything, putting them in the description to fully support you guys. Stuff
Perfect.
like that too. Michael says if you're in Hot Springs, he'll see you. Then you also have Kelly, who says
Oh,
Marilyn did such a great job in Forest Through the Trees, perfectly sinister. And then she also says whoever is able to see the premiere in either Eureka Springs or Hot Springs, you must go check it out and see her performance. The acting all around is just phenomenal. Yes,
yeah.
110%.
Yeah, I can't begin to express, the quality of the actors that are in this. I mean, I was in awe of many of them, and, like, all the lead actors, for sure. You have Olivia Disney and James Stokes and Annie Sullivan, oh my goodness, and Scott Doss. He's the
Scott is
villain. He is
yes.
wonderful. Uh, yeah, and then there are so many other, supporting actors and even background actors, who did a superb job at the times that they were supposed to, be on scene and have something happen, and yeah, just wonderful.
That's great. So one last question I have to ask you is this. So if someone said, "Hey, look, I want to give you the card to basically be a big time actress, a SAG card," would you take it, or would you go ahead and say, "No, I'm in my indie zone. This is where I belong"? Because I know some actresses are like, you know what, this is what I've been working towards. This is what I want. And then it's like, you know what? It maybe 5 years. It's like, no, this is not what I want anymore. I'm actually in my zone. This is where I belong. I found my place and my footing over here. And none of that other stuff even matters.
Um, I think, as a kid, I always wanted to be an actress and always watched the Oscars and didn't really know a whole lot about what SAG is. In fact, I still don't, but I know what a SAG card is. And I think, I think, well, one of my goals this year is to become SAG eligible.
Okay.
And that just means being in a SAG film and having enough of a speaking role to become eligible to be SAG. That's a big goal. If it doesn't happen this year, that's fine, but this year is what I want.
Right.
In this market where I live, I think sometimes SAG can be a drawback. Like I would want to do more than just SAG roles, you know.
Right.
I want to do non-union. I want to do more. And at my age, I want to do everything. So
Right.
so SAG eligible is a great thing. That's what I want. I'm not sure that I would join the union, but who knows? I'll have to wait
Right.
and see.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Exactly. And you're putting in the work, and you're doing what you need to do to get to that goal that you want. And I believe in you. I think that you're really going to get it this year. And, I push even with the podcast, for example, and I don't want to talk about myself or anything, but I try to push myself as much as I can because that's where my passion is. Just as you're passionate about your SAG, what you want to do and stuff like that. And, I just know that you have that willpower to like, you know what, nothing's going to slow me down. I'm going to keep on pushing. I can do this. I believe it. And I believe that you can do this. I know that you can.
Thank you.
And I hope to be able to talk to you as someone that's part of SAG sometimes in the future. And I'll just say congratulations. I knew it. I knew you were going to be able to do it. So
Yeah. Thank you so much, John. Every day I say I can do this. I have to tell myself that. And that positive reinforcement, I mean, you got to do that,
exactly.
And I know other people believe in me too. And I thank you so much, John.
You're very welcome. And matter of fact, we just summoned Scott, by the way. All we had to do was mention Scott's name and he's here. He's here in the comments.
Oh, no.
Hey, Marilyn and John, thanks for the shout out. Love you both. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you, Scott, as well. I'm looking forward to having you on my show sometime soon, sir. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for me trying to book you on my show sometime. But yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to you, the rest of the team for this movie. Jason's always doing something creative and different, authentically different.
Yes, very much so. He's a very talented and original film writer. And if you want to know more about the events and the film itself, you can go to lucidlakepictures.com. The events are listed there with ticketing information, links to all kinds of stuff, including IMDb and the actors. And so check it out.
Yeah, and do me a favor, Marilyn. After this show, give me the links so I can put it in the description so people can go to those places to get the tickets.
Sure.
Because I'm a big supporter of indie film and a big supporter of y'all, so I want to actually help you guys out any way I can.
We sure appreciate it.
Anytime. So, guys, that's going to be it. I know this is a little shorter or whatever, but I have another show at 8 o'clock Central Time. I'll be doing my Dexter Original Sin review for episode 9. So, I've been doing these all the way through. So, go on ahead, check that out at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Got tongue-tied. But anyways, but Marilyn, thank you so much for coming on here. It's always a privilege. Please come back. I might actually have some other creative ideas for us to do and collaborate.
Oh, it'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you.
You're very welcome anytime. So, guys, that's going to be it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, all that other good stuff here at Movie Lovers Unite. And always until next time, guys. Bye-bye.